All right, welcome into the first Coach Rush Probst show. And Coach, I want to first of all thank you for taking time out of your day. I know everything's moving at lightning speed since you took over here, and we could sit here for 2 days talking about what all you have going on, all the moving parts. But just you in general, how you've been doing, Coach, health-wise, everything, and kind of what led over into you taking over here at Coosa.
Well, I think the biggest thing is my health's good. I mean, probably healthier than I've been. You know, I've always been pretty healthy, but, you know, when you retire, you go into this mode of relaxation. And so I quit working out. I quit running the gamut, so to speak. And so I started looking up one day and going, man, you just started withering away, you know. And I got to where I didn't want to hunt or fish. You know, I did all that for first part of retirement and traveled a little bit. But after that, I got bored. And started thinking about what I wanted to do, and so I started coming over here and helping Mark a little bit, and just when needed. My son was a senior last year at Pell City, so I went to all the Pell City games, and you know, they went to the playoffs, which was good, and I came and helped Mark 1 week, you know, and during when they were open. But after that, I went into business. And got 4 other business partners, and we have a good, solid foundation of where we want to go with our business, and I think that we're in the school safety and security part. I know a lot of people thought Rush Probst was out selling jumbotrons, and that's just not true. That's completely false. But you know, I'm a small part of the business, you know, really. But then again, I believe in it, and I really enjoyed it. I actually turned a good job down in Mississippi to stay with the business. But so through all the rigmaroles of Coosa, I felt like that me being around some this summer, and then when Mark stepped down, they come to me and talked to me about doing it, and I agreed to do it for nothing. I'm not being paid a dime, and I'm gonna do it for 4 months, and then I'll turn it back over, you know, and then whatever they decide to do, you know, because I don't want to make a long-term commitment. Well, could it work into a long-term commitment? Yeah, it could. I really like these people. I really do. I like Coosa people, and I like and I'm appreciative of them giving me this opportunity. And to be honest with you, too, I think the Lord pushed me to do this more than anything in my life. I think that it brings me back to my roots of where I started, playing at Ohatchee in a small 1-8 team back then, although we had 50 plus players. Had a great run under Reagan Clark. And then Asheville High School. I coached at Heflin, you know, for 5 years under Dennis McWhirter. Loved it, enjoyed the small town, you know, and I think we were 3A and 04A classification. And then taking the Asheville job, as being the head coach after Reagan Clark retired after 2 years. I was there 2 years assistant under him. That was where me and Bill Clark and John Gross all came together under Reagan Clark, Bill's dad. And then I took over after Coach Clark's wife had passed in a tragic car wreck. And he decided to step away and give it to me, which I'll always be appreciative to him. Bill and I are like brothers. John and I are like brothers. You know, and I really appreciate that opportunity at Asheville. We had a good run at Asheville. But then I went what they call big ball, and did some great things. When you followed the Mobile to Hoover to Colquitt to Valdosta, then back to Pell City, this is back to your roots. And you do everything. You do everything. Our staff is all volunteer except for one. Larry works at the school, Williams. But the rest of them are straight volunteer. I do pay some of them very minimal money. 10 people, 12 people, there's only $20,000 to spread through all that. So it's not a lot of money. But The love these people have for this church and this school is astronomical. And I've sensed that. And I've sensed the love between our church, our school, and here, because I've seen it. They do a great job at the school. They do a great job at the church. And I just felt like the Lord was pulling on me and calling me to do this. And I just felt like, Russ, you need to go do this. These kids need you. This church needs you. The school needs you to weather the storm. And I felt like that's something that I really wanted to do passionately and not for me. I don't give a rip about my win-loss. I don't care about the trophies. I don't. The media coverage, I don't care about all that. Because I've turned down a lot of media requests, a ton of them. I've done a few, friends, like I'm doing for you. But I think it needs to be focused on the church, the school, our athletic program, mending some bridges, building some bridges back on multiple layers. I think we all know what I'm talking about. And complying with everything that you should be doing. So we're going to do everything right we possibly can here. There will be nothing done under the table. Everything will be on top. And so I think with that being said, going forward, everybody makes mistakes. No one here has made more mistakes than Rush Probst. Nobody. But God has blessed me. I've been forgiven. I feel forgiven. I'm a Christian. I'm moving forward in my life with my family. I have a wonderful family, 7 children, a lovely wife. All families have problems, but mine is really close. And we've sort of bonded. The thing about some of my stuff, it's bonded our family really tight. And we can't break a tight-knit family. And that's what I'm hoping to do here is get this church and the school and the football program bonded real tight-knit and head forward and then turn it back over.
Yeah.
Mark wants to come back, I'll be the first one to welcome him back. And so I'm always going to be appreciative of Mark O'Brien. Yeah. I really am. I'm going to be appreciative of Mark. We're friends. And I just believe that, like I said, he's never done anything that I hadn't. And I mean, I bet it's more controversy than anybody. So, but my job is to stay out of controversy, run this program the right way, and hopefully we can do some good things this year.
In life, a lot of times everything comes full circle. Talk about that. I know you just touched on a little bit, but being back at the 2A level now, but it's a high-end 2A you're at now. I mean, the expectations are through the roof. The culture, I've already heard you in huddle say, the culture's here. We don't need to worry about that. We got other things to worry about. Talk about that, but being here, having to make sure the grass is cut, the field's painted, all the T's are crossed, I's are dotted. How different is that than big ball, so to speak?
I think your support staff is very limited. You don't have a lot. They've done it on a shoestring budget. The culture is good. Mark built a good culture here. There's no doubt of that. I think there's some things we have to do to police some things up. But listen, wherever I've been, when people come in, they had to police some of my stuff that I'd let go, and maybe the wrong way a little bit. So any coaching change requires the next coach to come in and do some things better than the last coach did, whether you win or lose or not. So that's just plain and simple. But yeah, I think the support staff. I mean, Matthew Crane, I got Coach Crane that does a lot of our DFO stuff, but then it falls off after that. You don't have. So what I've noticed here is that a lot of people got a lot of jobs. And
different hats.
You wear a lot of different hats. And then, in 2A ball, and like I said, it's been a long time since I've been at Asheville, back in 92, or 89, 90, 91, 92, and even 87, 88, when we first got there. You did everything. Everything. From cleaning commodes to, everything. And that's what you do here. You do everything. I mean, if it's going to get done, coaches are going to do it. I mean, that's like lining fields and cutting grass. And although we do have a man here that cuts our grass.
Yes.
2 people, actually.
Otis.
Yeah. That was on the 58. Yeah, he was on the 58 Alabama team, and Coach Bryant's first year. We've had good talks. He turns 85 next month. He is a great mentor of us. Yeah. About our mind, especially. think the world of him. And we got somebody that takes care of the football field. So we're building here. We're in the process of building and trying to find more money and donations and things like that to get this thing going in the right direction.
Right.
So it is different, but it's a good different to me. I'm enjoying it because the purity of it. Sometimes in 6A, 7A ball, you forget where you came from.
Right.
You just do. You forget it because you're so layered away from it that I've sort of embraced it coming back in to know, man, some of these guys are just volunteers making $1,000 and that's all they make.
It's tough.
And then they got other jobs. So I don't know how Mark's kept them all. I really don't. I mean, we talked about that off the air. I don't know how he's done it.
Yeah.
So you have to work with them too. You can't just be hard nosed and work the grind like I've worked the grind before. It's hard to grind them into the midnight hours and then like I've done and then turn around and they got to go back to work the next day.
They got families.
They got families and stuff. So I get that part.
Yeah, no doubt.
But we work. We get our stuff done. We're behind. We got 2 tough opponents right off the bat, and it's gonna be very difficult to play them first 2 games just because I've only been at this job since last Monday, so 10 days ago, I think, when I officially took over. So it's going to be tough early in the season until we can get past them first 2 games and get into the season and get back into our region, play, and then we got Blunt coming up here, and then we got to go to Tuscaloosa Academy at the end of the year. The good thing is we got an open date before we go into playoffs to heal up a little bit before we go into the playoffs. So we got to do what we got to do to get there, and then try to play our best football come November.
You were very familiar with South Georgia. You're about to take another trip down towards South Georgia to play a very formidable opponent. The trip didn't go so good last year for Coosa, but they also learned a lot. Talk about this upcoming opponent.
Pierce County's good. Blackshear, Georgia. Know it well. Ryan Herring's a good football coach. He was at Oxford. Been in Alabama a good while. Now he's over in Georgia he'll probably stay a couple more years to get his retirement in Georgia, the 10-year deal. Then he'll probably come back to Alabama, to be honest with you. But the hard-nosed, tough kids, they sit over there in that central part of Georgia, close to the Okefenokee, way across. It sort of sits in the middle of the state on the, Georgia's fat at the bottom. It sort of sits to the east of 75. And, there's those kids that play at Pierce, it's all football. Those kids are ingrained in football. That's just South Georgia's culture. Anything a 75 to 100 mile radius from Valdosta. Valdosta is the winningest high school football program, the second winningest program in the nation. Michigan's 1, Valdosta is 2. Notre Dame is close. Notre Dame may have overtaken them last year, but they're 1, 2, or 3. Well, they're 2 or 3. But they're the winningest high school program. Massillon is trying to catch them in one other high school. So that 75 to 100 mile radius of Valdosta, for 100 years, they won 24 state titles, 6 national titles. Everybody's chasing what Valdosta's done in their lineage and their heritage. So that's branched out to everywhere, from Ware County, Pierce County, Lowndes County, Tift County, Colquitt County, Bainbridge, Cairo, Thomasville, Thomas County Central, everything down there. And then you look at the small schools, man. Everybody plays great football, and when you play a game, you're going to have 5, 10, 15,000 at every game. It don't matter who they play. They pack the stands. And so it's an interesting trip. They're a good football team. We'll have to play really well. Last year, they made a lot of mistakes. Coosa did. They spotted them 28 points after taking a 7-0 lead. They didn't field a punt. They don't field a kickoff. They give up a kickoff return. They throw a pick, maybe a pick 6. So they just gave them points. And so you can't do that against a Ryan Herring coach team. You better stop the run. They got an ex-bull rider that didn't play football last year. That's their quarterback this year. He reminds you of the kid from Vanderbilt. He looks just like him.
Gotcha.
Yes, acts just like him. He is the heart and soul of their offense. You've got to tackle him or you won't have a chance.
Yeah.
And then you got to figure out offensively what you can do to try to move the football and put points on the board, because it's going to take, if we play great defense, it's still going to take 28 to win, I would think, if not more. But, you know, I mean, if we hold Pierce to 21, we've had one heck of a night defensively.
Yeah.
And we're just so thin in so many areas.
What do you want to see from your kids in this game right here? This has been the first game. Just from an effort standpoint, from a knowledge standpoint, what do you want to see out of these Coosa kids?
Fight. Just fight. Fight and keep playing the game. Quit looking at the scoreboard. Don't let the scoreboard dictate how you play. That's so many kids do. That's the mistake so many kids make, is they let the scoreboard dictate how they play.
Gotcha.
So when you get up, your momentum drops. You get down a good bit, your momentum drops. The momentum stays the same if the game's equal. But if you play well and you get up, you got to stay up. If you get down, you can't. You got to still try to climb back the mountain. So consistency and momentum and effort, and don't quit, and battle for 4 quarters.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm wanting to see. And then if it constitutes a win on Friday night, great. If it don't, I can be happy with us playing. You know, I don't believe in moral victories, but we're behind the 8 ball. Me late getting in here, not being able to change a lot of schematic stuff that I wanted to, and then just being so thin. You know, we get 1 or 2 hurt. I don't know how we can snap the football.
Yeah.
So, or how we can even line up on defense if we get a couple guys hurt. I mean, we're playing with about 13, 14 kids. That's really it.
That's tough.
It is very tough.
Especially when you're playing a physical team.
Yeah, and then you're playing on the road.
You need both. But you got a lot of them's got a. You talking about 13 total? That's
Total.
2 platooning.
2 platooning. I mean, you only got 2 on offense. You got 2 on offense that doesn't start on defense. Center and the quarterback. Everybody else starts on defense. You on defense, you got 2 that don't start on offense. That's it. So when you look at it, it's 13.
How does
maybe 14.
How do you, when you turned it off? There's a couple more questions. I'll let you get out of here, Coach. I know you're super busy, but like, did you get that itch when you had retired that brief time? Could you go to these games? Could you feel it? I mean, what was that like? And then how's it going to be when you're back here, back in South Georgia of all places, walking out on that sideline?
It'll be fun. You know, Friday nights never bothered me much. Being away from it on Friday nights didn't bother me very much. Actually, it was sort of relaxing. But my kids were involved at Piedmont, so I'd go to the Piedmont games until I had COVID, was in the hospital. I missed 4 or 5 games, but I'd go to the Piedmont game and have a good time. It was relaxing. They do a great job over there tailgating, and
yeah, they do.
I mean, super, probably as good as anybody.
Yeah.
And then at Pell City last year, watching them play, and I wasn't kicked out of Pell City. I resigned, but I was still able to come and go to practice and be on the field and interact with players and coaches and all that kind of stuff. So I would go to practice once a week and then go to the games and all that kind of stuff. But now, the itch for me was the grind.
The preparation.
The preparation part is was what I missed. The hot August days and getting your players ready to play, that to me is the fun part of it. It's hard, but it's a challenge. In fall camp, when NFL camps open up, my blood starts to boil. You know, right that week before, actually we start the same week they did, because we had an extra week, and so my blood starts to boil in. That's when I like to do it. And then, you know, and going back to South Georgia will be fun. There's a lot of people talking about coming, even from Colquitt County and Valdosta and stuff like some of those people, places I've been that I make good friends. But the media's always been great to me down there, and it's just a cultural place that I really, really enjoyed for 14 years I lived down there. So do I miss South Georgia? I do some. When it comes to football, I do. And the weather's great in the winter too. So I do miss it. I do miss it some, and but I'm glad to be here too. So it's where I'm from. I grew up in Ohatchee and coached at Asheville, coached at Heflin, went to school at Jack State. So I'm home. I'm back to my roots, and I'm doing what I love. So, but I'm happy here too.
That's a blessing, Coach. And been a blessing. I got to meet you when you lived in South Georgia. Did a great interview with you there, and
Yep.
you had a beautiful home there. And so I'm sure it's going to be good to see some of those people as well. And, but Coach, I appreciate you sitting in this week. We'll be back each and every week. This one's a little bit longer than a normal one, but we need to get everybody caught up. Coach, thank you so much for sitting in with us, and good luck this Friday.
Thank you very much for having me.